so much work out there that if you're willing to work, you can earn money. I started when I was young, knocking on my neighbors' doors, asking if I could pressure wash their driveways. So $40 a driveway, and if I needed to see a movie, I'd get outside and start knocking on people's doors and pressure wash someone's, driveway to earn some money. So the opportunity's endless.
So what would you say, 1 in 100 you'd say, of knocking on doors so you get somebody? Or?
I just use that analogy, but it's a lot less than that, I hope. If you've been in the industry and know what you're doing, you're going to neighborhoods that look like they need painting. So, your chances of getting an estimate are a lot closer than that. And also, too, it's all on your ability to, attract that. Like my friend, out of 15 houses, he got 12. So for me, out of 15 houses, I get one or two. I'm okay with people saying, no, okay, I'll see you later then. Just leave. He would, get their phone number. He would get them an estimate. He would say, hey, your neighbor Frank, I'm meeting him on Tuesday. Why don't I come beforehand and give you the same free estimate? Your neighbor's doing it, and things like that. Just, using that psychology, salesmanship or whatever you want to call it to get their information to be able to close that deal. But as far as that, I would tell people it's not a fun experience, going door to door. People are eating with their families. They're, in their home. They don't want to be bothered. So it's definitely something that's typically not fun. People don't like it. You're not getting a yes. You're getting more no's than yeses. But basically, what I try to explain to people is that you're basically enabling yourself to become, available. They don't know about you without you going to their door. So even if they say no, that's fine. You're not, trying to make a sale. You're trying to leave, information for a later purpose. And that's what I tell the potential customers, like, hey, your house might not need to be painted this year, but sometime it might. If you keep this in your dress or your drawer, from the day that you need it, I'd love to give you an estimate. And so, or maybe your friend needs an estimate, you try to do whatever you possibly can in a nice way without pushing on people, getting your information across. And so another way that helps me be successful is that I never stress people about money. I never liked, when I owe somebody money, if they call you 15 times, I don't do that. I don't, typically like to charge people up front. I want to get paid when I'm done and they're 100% satisfied.
So when you're going to collect the money, do you ever have problems with that?
Yeah, unfortunately do. And so also too, like part of the mentorship that I seeked out, that was a big thing that they, what kind of contract do you have in place? Do you have everything in writing? Do you have pictures taking place? Because a lot of the times, especially with painting, is that they've been going to their house for the last 15 years and walking inside every single day. They haven't noticed the ding on their wall or, what it may be. But after you paint it, now all of a sudden they notice it. So, it's so important to take pictures of everything before, take pictures of everything after. What I explain to people is that, I'm doing the best I possibly can to make your house look as best it possibly can, but it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes people expect perfection. And part of that was myself selling perfection. I would, promise the people the world. When in reality, I can't give that to them. So I've learned over the years too, to, lessen that up a little bit and just say, this is how we do things. This is the process. Throughout the process, it's going to get better and better. We love all feedback. The more you input into this process, the better it's going to be for you. The more we can make it perfect for you. You're going to live here. This is your home. We want it to be the best it can possibly be for you. So, we never shy away from criticism. We never shy away from, any of that stuff because we just want to do a perfect job for them however we can.
Well, you get that one person. You treat one person badly or you're dishonest with somebody, they're going to tell the people that they know. How many times do you tell somebody that about, or like your friends and family about somebody that was honest with you compared to somebody that was dishonest with you and did you wrong? Like the person that did you wrong, you're going to tell everybody about. The people that did you right, you're going to tell, 1 in 5 did you right stories compared to every time when someone did you wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I learned in the restaurant. If somebody has, bad experience, they tell 100 more people. If they have a good experience, they just tell maybe nobody.
Right.
So, those bad experiences do happen. minimizing. So I'll tell you guys a story. My first year painting, so that when I was still working for that other company where I was kind of getting that training, but it like ended. And so my friend and we got a job to do, and it was in Bremerton. And so, I think it was Bremerton, where you have to take a ferry across and whatnot. And so I told the customer, it's not, reasonable for us to take a ferry every single day to your house to do this work. Would it be possible to just, pitch a tent and stay the night, and while I work, get this done, or pay for a hotel, type of thing. And he said that we could, stay there and stay in his property, because it's a huge, mansion on the water, and I'm underbidding it. So he's getting a super deal, so he's happy with it. But, things were going great. I called a friend to come help, because I was going to WSU, and I was going to school, and school started that same Monday. And so I foresaw it taking longer than anticipated. Instead of missing 1 week of school, which is a syllabus week, and everyone just parties and have fun anyway, I was going to miss a second week of school. And so I called someone else to come and help me. And so we did so well that we went out and partied that night. And that's another thing in the industry is like, you get paid a lot of cash, business owners and things like that, and painters, and you have a lot of cash. And so you want to have fun and do that thing. So we went out and we got drunk, but we went back to that customer's house drunk, and a fight broke out between my friend and the other coworker, and the customers woke up, and it was like 4:00 in the morning, and we were on their property, and it was, I was like, it's really bad. I'm thinking like, they're going to go to the company on the internet and, spread bad stuff about me, that, and all those terrible things. And so what I did to, make the situation better is that I could never take that night away from them, but I can give them other nights to make it better. So instead of them remembering this terrible thing about myself, in the company and that night that it brought upon them, I gave them gift certificates to each of them to their favorite restaurant, so that they could have a wonderful time and pay for it on my dime, and then remember, oh, Nick, it's a good feeling, so, bad things happen, but how you handle them and how you can make a world of a difference. You can always change a bad situation and make it good. And so I always deal with solutions. I never focus on the problem. Problems and mistakes and all that stuff is going to happen no matter what. It's how you react to it that changes it. And so, seeking out other people whenever you have a problem, ask them to come up with 20 solutions. If you don't find it by then, ask somebody else, or, you're going to find, it's going to help you find the solution.
Well, 100% of the time, I mean, it's so much easier when you're faced with like a difficult situation, like you were telling me about, two of your employees getting in a fight and waking up your client while you're staying on their property. Like, the easy thing to do would just be to put your head down, walk away from that situation, call it a loss, and do nothing about it, in the future. But doing the right thing by trying to make it right, I mean, that's huge. Yeah,
well,
so
the first night I did do that, because he came out, he was real angry, and I pretended I was asleep. But the next night, the next day, I came with that solution.
After you thought about it for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Well, that kind of it kind of ties into what you were talking about, like your setbacks and not being able to get a job because of your deferred DUI or whatever. Like, it's all about your attitude and overcoming that. And so you went down a route that you had an opportunity with, which was opening your own business, doing something like a labor job. So you got into painting, so you overcame that. So it ties back into what we've been talking about, like your attitude when it comes to every situation, good and bad.
Anything that bad happens, just think that means something better is going to come. I didn't get that really good job that was going to change my life, but maybe that just meant that, that this painting thing was really meant to be, and that I'm going to have a better life because of that. And so I'm going to believe that rather than my life is over now that I don't have this job,
Right.
So just your attitude, 100% the key to success.
I couldn't agree more. Well, and it goes back to, like when you're a kid, you don't think of, I want to grow up and be a painter. And then you went to college, you have your degree. Like, you weren't thinking, I'm going to turn this into a painting business. But I mean, you've turned everything that's put against you and all your hardships and having a deferred DUI and not being able to get a career job with a corporation into having your own successful business. and, not having to rely on another person. Like, it's all on you. So it doesn't matter like where you come from or what issues you've dealt with or whether or not you can't get a job for whatever reason or another. Like, you can create anything. And I think that's part of like the American dream. I mean, that's part of, what we all, that mystification of what they teach us in school, that you could make anything of yourself. I mean, it isn't more true than, anywhere else in the world, and except for here. And that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to set your mind to that point. Like, you got to hustle.
Yeah, it doesn't
to get
just
your
come.
company to go.
It doesn't just
it's
come.
Not just handed down to you. And that's what people don't understand from a lot of people that close their business. Like Nick, he's knocking on doors.
Right.
Getting a bunch of no's.
Putting in the work.
Nobody
wants to go to someone, stranger's door, and ask them, and nobody wants to answer the door to a stranger. Like, to be honest, if you came to my house, like, I almost take it as an offense.
I'd be pissed off.
And because, like man,
especially
I'm having dinner with my family, like, what are you doing interrupting? This is my special time.
Or you're like, and having super, like, good game at Call of Duty online, and you're like, I can't pause this right now, dude. Get out of here, man.
Who is this motherfucker?
He's disrupting me.
I'm coming out with my shotgun if I'm playing Call of Duty and he's interrupting.
I'm just a Mormon.
You're ruining my kill-death ratio, man.
The first thing I say to people is I'm not Mormon. Sorry. No.
You're probably not dressed like that, though, huh?
No, but that's a big thing, though. One of the other books that I recommend reading is called The 48 Laws of Power. And one of those things is like you always have in your car a presentable, outfit that you work. You in not a business suit, not a tux. You don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, but you want people to invite you into your home. You don't want to have all your painting gear on, come inside somebody's house, and they don't want you to sit down on their couch.
Make it dirty, yeah.
You don't get to build that trust with them. You don't get that opportunity. So presenting yourself in a way that is, gives you the best opportunity for success.
Well, that's just like, if you're hiring somebody, which I kind of want to get into employees, like, I'm sure when you hire someone or interview someone or meet with them, like, their appearance is a huge deal. I mean, if they're coming in with their pants sagging around their ankles, or like a bandana on, or their hat on backwards to an interview with you, like, you're going to be less likely to hire that person. To whereas if they come in with their dress pants and a pair of dress shoes and a decent shirt or a dress up shirt, I mean, that's going to make a big. That's for anybody. For any job.
Absolutely, yeah. You definitely do. Like, even though it's painting, you're going to get dirty. You're going to wear, your worst clothes to go painting in. You don't want to present yourself that first, It's okay, like, later on, or ask. Part of my interviewing process is just seeing if they can follow instructions. Hey, meet me at this time. Wear this. Bring this with you. If they can meet me at that time, be presentable, and bring with them what they ask them to do, I'm going to most likely hire them. They're a winner. That's like the keys to success. Everything else is trainable. I learned how to paint in one day. So, I think it's very easy, to do for anybody. And it's just mostly about their attitude, their work, like I said, their honesty, their willingness to do a good job. All those things will help anybody get a job.
So you were talking about that your like a lot of the people that you've had work for you is family and stuff like that. Like, have you had any big jobs? Have you had to go on Craigslist and hire people? Like, how have you gotten employees when you've needed them for work?
Yeah, so when I first started working for that opportunity where I was like an apprentice working for him, I used Craigslist was the best way to interview people. And when you're working with a business, it's best to hire people you don't know, family and friends and all that stuff. It can ruin your relationship with them. But I've just found that, my family, works. I work well with them. It works for me, but you can count on them, really well. It's family and things like that. They're not going to get mad at you. You can work things out with them. But with the Craigslist workers and everything like that, they don't know you. So you can set a whole kind of different tone and a different relationship with them. And Craigslist workers I found to be the best. If you interview them, there's a lot of people out there that are silly, you don't even want to work with them anyway. But, it's just you interview 10 people and then you hire those 10 people and then only 3 or 4 of those people will work out. And so, yeah, I mean, and it's hard because you hire people, right? But you don't have work necessarily booked out for 3-4 months. And so it's really hard to keep great people employed because you don't have all the work to keep them working. And so I constantly